Good day, viewers, and welcome to the morning segment from the Dailies on Echo Television Africa. I am Sele Elisha Dasham, and with me it's Owolabi Tosin.
Good morning, Sele.
Morning, Tosin. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Hope you rested well.
Yes, I did.
Okay, let's run through the papers. We have quite interesting and catching stories on all our papers, and I'll be starting with the Daily Independent newspaper. PDP quest to Aso Rock at risk, with the rider presidential aspirant accused party leadership of favoritism. Peter Obi Dom's party withdraws from the presidential contest. And you can read more of that story on the Daily Independent newspaper. Ohaneze lament incessant killing in the southeast. The big story: accusation of hijack greet PDP governorship primaries with the rider Abarebe. I take that story again. Accusation of hijack greets PDP governorship primaries with the rider Abarebe, Akwiremedu, and Luke Albert Gazumaku. Others boycott exercise. Fitire, Makande, Akuni, Uba, Eno, Kashim, Bardi, Aderi Ray, and others pick tickets. Detail of that can be found on page 6 of the Daily Independent. And on Anambra, Soludo declares curfew and bans motorcycle, keke, shuttle buses. Detail of that can be found on page 7. Civil societies urge total crackdown on commercial motorcycles in Lagos. Why we discontinue probe into the NAF accident by AIB Commissioner, with the rider releases final accident report on Max Air, Axman Air Police Air Wing. Viral video on killings in the southeast may not be factual. This is coming from the presidency, and you can read more of that inside the paper. And the last story here: Governor Mohammed backs Buhari refusal to sign the Electoral Act amendment. You can read more of that inside the paper on page 5 of the Daily Independent. And that's all from the Daily Independent.
On the Nation newspaper, First Bank Holdings shareholders to get 12.6 billion naira dividends, and Stella Odua failed to complete youth service. That's the NYSC affirms, and details can be found in page 3. And we know Stella Odua is a senator representing Anambra North Senatorial District, and she was a one-time Minister of Aviation. And now, during the screening for her to recontest for the seat of the senatorial district in Anambra, that was when they discovered that she absconded from NYSC. And yesterday we spoke about the importance of this screening. We know when the senatorial screening was held in PDP, we had issues. They had issues where people were not able to pass through the stage, and if you can't pass through the senatorial screening, then you can't contest for the senatorial seat. And this is very important, and we look out for other parties to look into this screening, because it is very important. We need to know and document profile of people who are aspiring for key positions in our country. We see issues of corruption. We see issues of people mismanaging the public funds, and this has to do with when they don't give out the real details of how they get their wealth, how they get their means of income and other things. So really the screening is important, and we look out to a party who is yet to screen for the presidential primaries. We look out for them to do the screening, because screening is very important. And now we can see this issue of Stella Odua coming up. But I think it's coming up late, because she was one time a Minister of Aviation, and why are we discovering this thing now? So we need to look out for the key issues, and we need to look out for things that are important, and we should put them first. We should put them priority, and we should not just look out for other things, but things that are priority should be held in priority, not things coming up this late because she even a one-time senator and now just coming out for the second time. That's when we discovered that she has absconded from NYSC. We still have people who don't even have the certificates and they forge certificates. We see issues where presidential aspirants and even people holding key positions will see that they forge their certificates for their education. That's either the secondary school or the university. So we need to look out for all these things and hold them to priority. And if you are not qualified for any position you are vying for, then you should be kicked out. Then who is qualified should assume such positions. And why we took oath to cover up OAU students' death. 14 victims of Borno killings tied shot at close range. And this is really a very sad and devastating issue coming up from Borno State, where we have issues of killings coming from such places. And not just in Borno State, we see issues of killings even in Anambra State. The government needs to do something about all these acts. And Buhari charges Nigerians to resist terrorists. Gunmen abduct 2 Catholic priests. Details can be found in page 2 of the Nation newspaper. The big story says outgoing governors, men pick PDP tickets in states. Okowa's choice beats Ibori anointed in Delta. Makinde triumph in Oyo. Ekweremadu Abaribe look. Maku quits before shadow election. Wike picks Fubara, wins, and presidential aspirant Bala Muhammad name on ballot. And we have the winners for the different governorship election. On PDP, we have for Lagos, Olajide Adeniran, and of Adamawa, Ahmed Fintiri. For Oyo, we have Sheyi Makinde, and Bauchi, we have Ibrahim Kashim. Nasarawa, we have David, and Abia, we have Professor Uche Ikone. For Rivers, we have Fubara, and Gombe, we have Mohammed Jibril. Enugu, we have Peter Umba, and for Benue we have Austin Uba. For Akwa Ibom we have Umo Eno, and Jigawa we have Sule Lamido. And for Delta we have Sherif, and Taraba and we have Abu Kefas. And Sokoto we have Saadu Umar, and Yobe Sherif Abdu, and Borno we have Mohammed Jajari. Obi's exit dims hope for Southeast PDP candidate. Ex-governor weighs LP SDP options. Why he dumped main opposition party. And we know Peter Obi, who had gone round the country on seeking support of delegates for the presidential primaries of the PDP, pulled out less than 72 hours to the contest. And we have speculations that he's going to join the NNPP, but whatever party Peter Obi joins, we just wish him the best, and we look out for Nigerians to get their PVC and bring in the right president into power. Still on the Nation newspaper, APC's 28th presidential aspirant undergoing screening, says Adamu. The rider party picks governorship assembly candidate today. Zulum Abdulrazak Buni are unopposed. Downside, we have Korean firms get nod to build world-class LPV vessels, and Soludo imposes curfew. Details can be found in page 2, and that's all on the Nation newspaper.
Thank you, Tosin. Let's take a look at this day newspaper. Swiss firm which paid bribes to NNPC officials for crook contract fined $1.1 billion in US. With the rider, Nigerian officials collected over $52 million, says state debt. Obi dumps PDP may contest presidential poll on another party. Detail of that can be found on page 41 of this day newspaper. And CBN rallies investor for depth of 1,590 hectares plantation in Edo. And Adamu, no decision on zoning till after screening APC presidential hopefuls, says aspirants will be scrutinized according to the party's guidelines. And the big story, Buhari Uzibanjo, NEF can flay killing of pregnant women and children in Anambra. Those behind barbarous killing in the southeast will be hunted by security forces, presidency assures. Soludo declares curfew in 8 local governments, ban Okada, tricycle operations on Mondays. And Zulum confirms 32 persons killed by Boko Haram in weekend attack in Kada, Barchi. And Lawan halts campaign in honor of the murdered Borno farmers. Terrorists attack Basari local government, abduct 2 Catholic priests and Ekwa pastor and others. Yakubu warns of danger of money politics, says Nigeria moving toward bureaucracy, and you can read more of that on page 42. And I think we look forward to having more presidential aspirants that will come out to state the fact that people should not receive any money for anything, because it's as good as you setting your right and setting your vote. You have the right to voice whoever you want, and just like you said, this is the time where it's not just about going to register. Get your PVC and make sure you use the PVC to select the right leader, or elect rather the right leader that we choose, because we have issues where people sell their PVCs, where people receive Maggi wrappers and all stuff of that, just so that they could sell their votes. But for how long will you eat this seasoning or the salt or the wrapper? At the end of the day, you will be suffering. So we're looking forward to where everybody will know the fact that no money is worth your vote. We should use the vote to select and elect the right leaders that are competent enough to lead in these various offices. And that's all on this day newspaper.
On Voice of Liberty in Anambra IPOB murder, Northern elders condemn killing of pregnant Fatima and 4 kids, warns against reprisal attack. And on defection, Peter will be in discussion with Labour Party, NNPP. We are ready to receive him. This is from Alkali. And on Borno massacre, Zulum's aide confirms 32 killed, says 14 bodies recovered, search ongoing. President Buhari mourns victims of terror. While on Southeast unrest, Buhari reads riot act to IPOB, others over killing of woman and 4 children in Anambra. President Muhammadu Buhari has promised criminals responsible for the gruesome murder of a pregnant northern woman identified as Fatima along with her 4 children in Anambra State that they will face a tough response from the security forces. And I will say this is good for the president to give out his voice concerning the killing of Fatima and her 4 kids. But let's reflect it back to when we were doing justice for Deborah, and also when Deborah was killed in Sokoto. Did Mr. President come out to say anything concerning the murder? Nothing was said from the president, even from the state, if not for Khan and other bodies that stood up to talk about it, to kick against the issue, the killing of Deborah, and even to organize a protest. And we know that even at the time where the protest was organized, some state governors were talking about it, saying the protest should not be organized, nothing should be done. And even when the students, after the arrest of some alleged students who killed Deborah, we saw a protest even in Sokoto State, and so many things were coming up, and we saw the issue. It even led to unrest in some particular communities, and we saw where people's businesses were destroyed. So many things happened alongside the death of Deborah, and now we saw this issue. Although we kick against the killing of Fatima and her children in Anambra State, and we keep on saying that justice should prevail concerning those people who killed Fatima, but we need to be fair, and we need to balance everything. We are all Nigerians, Sele. If what is good for the goose is good for the gander, if you criticize the killing of a particular person, it should also go to another person, because irrespective of your tribe, irrespective of your ethnicity or your religion, we are all one. We are one Nigeria. So we should not segregate issues. We should not be biased when it comes to issues like this. Definitely the law will take its full course concerning the killers of Fatima and her children, but when issues like this come up, irrespective of who is affected, as Mr. President or governor of any state, you should be fair, you should be balanced in handling this issue, because issues like this can spur some kind of issues, some kind of talks behind, and even it can bring about some kind of clashes, because you've seen issue like this where someone was killed and nothing is being said, and another person is being killed, and you are coming up to read some riot act and even saying that something should happen in such places where this thing have happened. So we need to look into all these things. As Mr. President, you are for everybody. You need to carry everybody alongside, and you need to be fair and balanced in your handling issue and even in dealings with issues like this. And still on the Voice of Liberty, reward system in APC poor, like monkey walking, baboons benefiting. This is coming from Governor Fayemi. And family members of abducted Kaduna-bound train passengers protest in Abuja and demand rescue of loved ones. And we see where the terrorists have sent a video and even sent letters across saying they are going to wipe out these people, giving the government 7 days ultimatum. We keep on saying where these terrorists are saying they need the government know what they need. And I say, in dealing with this issue between the terrorist group and the government, must life be lost along this process? Now we can see that this Kaduna train abductors, now the families have been coming out to protest, and we saw when the Kaduna state said the train station will commence its activities, and these families came up and said that the government should be ready to carry their dead body, because whenever these train stations will commence services, they are going to lie down on this track so that the train can move on them, so that they die alongside their family members. And now we can see just this week where this terrorist group said they are going to kill these people. The government needs to act very fast concerning this issue. People should not die alongside this process. We don't know what the government have with these terrorists. Then people should not be victims of circumstances. These people just wanted to board this train station from one place to the other, and they are now victims of circumstances. Now we see that even in captivity, they are stayed there for 59 days in captivity. So like, what happened to people who are on medications in those places? They can't have access to medication. And we saw where a woman gave birth and another woman who was pregnant was released, and we see the newborn baby, she's still there, and now these people are threatening that they are going to kill these people. Something needs to be done about this. If these people need to be released very fast before the 7 days ultimatum will elapse. We just hope that the government will intervene speedily so that these people can be released. What happened to their loved ones who are at home listening to all this news, hearing all this news that is coming forth saying they are going to kill their family members just because the terrorist group have something with the government? The government needs to intervene. We can't say the terrorist group are not above this government. We have the military sector, we have the paramilitary sector. All you need to do is to deploy all those people back to those places and give them the order to fire these people so that these people can be released. We see pictures, you see the way these people are saying. Even people cannot even identify their loved ones that are among them because of the kind of frustration they are going to. We see pictures, we see videos of people who have experienced being in den of kidnappers. It's not a good experience, Sele. Something needs to be done. The government needs to intervene speedily on how they can release these people. We don't want to have issues of their death coming up. This 7 days ultimatum that is given to the federal government, we don't need it to elapse. The government should do something about it very fast concerning the release of these people.
Yeah, Tosin, I think the riot act also needs to be read to this Boko Haram or these terrorists that are behind this. Just like you're saying, it's no longer 7 days, it's now 6 days, because as of yesterday, that was when it was 7 days ultimatum. So from today, 1 day has gone already, 6 days. And we know the way the terrorists operate. Once they say something or they send a letter, they always act on what they say. And I think just like you're saying, I know that the government actually really working on what they can do. It's not just about deploying the paramilitary or the military, but they really need to plan. And I believe that 59 days is already enough time for the paramilitary or the military to put their hands together and see the tactics that they can do. I believe if they are moving, then we should be able to have a tracker that will track them wherever they are moving. If they are within Nigeria, then I believe that the government should be able to spot them exactly where they are. We had issues where the governor of Kaduna said they know where they are, they just want to bomb the whole forest, even though they know that some people who are innocent will be victims at the end of the day. But he said in war there are always casualties, and those people have to be the casualties. We believe that they are working with the communities, so we should go to the people around the communities where these terrorists are residing, talk to them, because who are the people cooking for them? Who are the people providing shelter? Who are the doctors that have that? Because they brought their own doctor to help that woman to give birth. So we know that they have the forces, but just like you said, they are not beyond the government. The government are up and about, and I believe that they need to do more. They need to tighten their belt, because this is no longer a peaceful thing. It's already looked as if ever since they've been there, we are yet to hear any press release coming from the government concerning that. We only hear the relatives coming out to protest. We're only hearing the relatives saying that they need their loved ones back. But yet the government is yet to say something. Ever since they mentioned it, nothing is being said. The attention has been pushed towards the forthcoming election. We cannot have an election when we are not peaceful. We cannot have an election where there's still riot, where there's still killing. So we just hope that the government will actually, it's not just about the election that is coming, but make everything that will make your election a very pleasant one at the end of the day.
Thank you, Sele. Still on Voice of Liberty, your actions giving Indibu bad name, promoting ethnic conflict, can warns IPOB. And Ogun PDP Guba 2023, former Atiku spokesman Sowumi emerges PDP candidate, defeats Dimi Lawal, former El Rufai's advisor. And that's all on Voice of Liberty.
And on the Vanguard newspaper, PDP ticket, why Peter Obi withdrew and dumped PDP. Gunmen invade Catholic Church in Castina, kidnap priests and others. Detail of that can be found on page 8. The Southwest aspirant not at war. This is coming from FIME. E-payment transaction fall by 8.2% in April. And the big story on presidency, Jonathan still in the race, put APC screening on hold. Ex-president emerges as consensus candidate, gains momentum. Not prefers him to other APC contenders, says source in the Jonathan's camp. And Bayelsa APC chairman to consult registrar to confirm Jonathan's membership. Zoning dispute, legal move to stop PDP presidential primary fails. You read more of that on page 13. And the Kaduna train attack, come to our aid, adoptees appeal to the government, and I believe the government will do all that it needs to be done to bring them back home. Atiku unveils 5-point development agenda. And we have expect tough response. Buhari warns perpetrators of the wild killings in the southeast. You can read more of that on page 12. And the PDP Guba primaries, Ekwerumedu, Abarebe and Abegi others lose out. Don't bow to pressure of shifting election timetable, Jega tells the INEC. And we have a picture story here of, you can look it up, the Secretary General Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, Mohammed, with the group chairman, United Bank of Africa, and founder, Tonio Olumedo. And we have the President, Chief Executive Officer of African Finance Corporation, Samaida, and the ongoing at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland on Monday. And that's all on the Vanguard newspaper.
On leadership, ban on Okada has come to stay in Lagos, and this is from Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. After leadership reports, National Hospital fixes cancer treatment machine, and that is very good. I remember when patients said in the National Hospital in Abuja that the machine treating cancer is not working right, and now we can see that after this report, the hospital have fixed the cancer treatment machine, and that is really good. We need to call out those sectors that are not doing it right so that they can fix it right, because we know that there are people suffering from this cancer. And now looking at to where the hospital where you can go to receive treatment, and you imagine saying the machine is not working right, you imagine how it will be in the life of this patient. So this is really good for this hospital to fix this machine, and we just hope that other hospitals and other sectors that are not working right, they've been called out, they should do the right thing in their places. And the presidency wants against retaliation. Soludo wants justice for slain mothers and 4 children as police intensify manhunt after killers. Obi Ekweremadu Abaribe dumps PDP, withdraws from presidential and governorship race. On train attack victims, rescue our loved ones, families beg President Muhammadu Buhari. And on 2023, exchange of money worrisome, Yakubu and Jiga are saying this. 32 youths killed by terrorists are not farmers, says the Borno State Governor. And amid protest withdrawal, PDP picks governorship candidates. APC aspirants face delegates today. Fintiri Makinde gets PDP re-election ticket. Eno, Kashim, Uba, Barde, Umba, Ombuadu, Kefas, Fubara, Yaman, Lamido's son secures governorship ticket as first-timers. Niger shifts exercise, plateau waits result. And that's all on the Leadership newspaper.
And on the Daily Sun, Soludo imposes 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew on Anambra. Buhari split fire over killing of Fatima and 4 children. IPOP council sit at home, and I think this is really something not just to mourn the death of Fatima, but this sit at home I think totally should be cancelled, because this is really affecting businesses. And so even as we hope that other governors also put their hands together to make sure that IPOP in their own states will also cancel this sit at home so that business will move, and also while they still look for the killers of Fatima and her 4 children. And on 2023 APC primary, Adamu rules out consensus. Detail of that can be found on page 3. Still on 2023, anxiety crisis rock PDP. Peter Obi pulls out of the presidential primary, alleges gun up and dumps party. PDP Guba, Akwa Ibom members protest in position. Uti backs out in Abia, with the rider Amo Agigi on false agenda in Delta. Buhari mourns Borno, Katsina terror victims, vow perpetrators will face justice. Zulum have confirmed 32 killed by ISWAP. Lawan suspend campaign over attack, condoles with victims' family. And we have federal government to ban refrigerators and air conditioners by 2023. Well, if you want to know the reason why the federal government is going to ban refrigerators and air conditioners, you can read more of that on page 25 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And that's all on the Daily Sun.
On Nigerian News Direct, coming from Ogun State, Abiodun completes Commission Abeokuta Metropolis Road abandoned by Amosun. And CBN debunks rumor about Emefiele's sack. On 2023 presidency, mass defection in PDP over Peter Obi's withdrawal. Obi vows to rescue Nigeria through different routes. As NNPP, Labour Party lobby Obi for presidential ticket. And on Osun 2022, I'm apologetically committed to Oyetola's re-election. This is from NGF chairman Fayemi. While on Okada ban, 15 CSOs declare support for total clampdown, decry Lagos threatened by daredevil riders. And that's all on the Nigerian News Direct.
And on the Punch newspaper, Naira devaluation insecurity drive Nigerians with imports to 1.3 trillion Naira. And you can read more of the Naira devaluation on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. Buhari's men wooing Jonathan to join APC. This is coming from an associate. And the presidential bid Emefiele withdrawal on Buhari's orders, says source. Food prices record 42% surge in 12 months. This is coming from the MBS report. And Cash Strip Bank borrow 338 billion Naira in 1 month. The big story, shock as Peter Obi dumps PDP. Protest mayor governor primaries. And we have the picture story here where we have rescue train passengers before terrorists kill them. Families begging Buhari, and we can see the picture. The sight is not a great one. They are crying, and just like you said, family members cannot even recognize their loved ones. So we just hope that the presidency will be able to hear their cry. Whatever the issue is, whatever the terrorists are holding on the federal government, I believe the federal government are capable of handling this issue. They should come out and do something about it and rescue these people that are crying out calling on the government to come to their aid. It's really a sad one where you have to beg the government to save you when we know that it is the responsibility of the government to protect lives and properties. But we believe that something will be done. It is our heart desire that before the 6 days will elapse, they will be reunited with their families again. Other stories still on the Punch. Grounded First Nation multi-million-dollar plane sold as scrap, told in Oyo. You can read more of that on page 19. Ritualist exhuman newly buried corpse harvests organs in Oyo. We took oath over OAU students' death. This is coming from the hotel receptionist. And why consensus may not work for presidential primary. This is coming from the APC chairman. Soludo declares curfew, women, children killed by gunmen buried. And family cry out as EFCC fails to interrogate Okorocha 24 hours after. And you know, I actually was listening to the interview being conducted to his daughter Oloma, and she was really saying it's not a side that any child would want to witness when his father or her father is being arrested in that manner, and EFCC is yet to interrogate them. We're in a democratic era, not a military era. We have the right to air out our views. You have the right to a lawyer while you're being questioned. So we're just looking for that EFCC will do the right thing. They are the law. They should not go against the law because no man is above the law. Yes, whatever Okorochas have done, he should face the law. But I believe that there are more diplomatic ways that things should be handled, not the manner in which it was being handled. But we'll keep our fingers crossed. We know the stories that keep unfolding. He has a hearing which is to come on Monday, the 30th, concerning the 17 count that was charged on him. So we are looking for to see that what would EFCC do from now till tomorrow, which is Friday, because his hearing is coming on Monday. So we just keep our fingers crossed to see the end of the story. And that's all on the Punch newspaper. But before you move to the next paper, Tosi, sorry, I would like us to take a time out where we open the phone lines for our callers to call us and let us know what your views are. And also remember, we are live on Facebook and also on YouTube. So please drop your views and let us know what you feel concerning any of the story that is of interest to you. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, it's still from the Dailies on Equa Television Africa. I am Sada Elisha Dashaman. Tosin Owolabin has been doing this alongside me. Our phone lines are open, so do well to call us and let us know what your views are concerning any of the story that's of interest to you. And also remember, we're live on Facebook and we have some comments. I would like to take them before we move further to other stories. And this is coming from Raymond Diaye, and he said, oh yes, and this is very peculiar to Raymond. And we have another coming from Pam Jesse, very sad, where I think this is concerning the killing of Fatima, and it's really a sad one, but we still keep our fingers crossed. We know that justice will be served at the end of the day.
A New Telegraph report, 15 Nigerian brand listed in fresh African valuation ranking, banking, telecoms lead pack. And on phone tax, subscribers mall shoot against federal government. And I've proven I can do a lot with meager resources. This is from Dave Umahi. And we need to look out for what he has done in the state he's governing. Southwest governors owe pensioners 242 billion naira. This is coming from the Union of Pensioners. While in Maiduguri, Lawan reschedules meeting with APC delegates. AIB released 3 accident reports, and PDP beckoned consultations. Obi quits as Northern Elders push for North Central candidacy. Woos Afenifere Ohaneze, MBF insists consensus arrangement pathway to stability. Niger postpones Guba primaries. Jandor, Mba, emerged Lagos Delta Enugu Guba candidate. Ekweremadu Maku others withdraws from race. No Congress in 2 Anambra senatorial districts. An electoral loss, prominent senators, reps who lost return tickets at PDP primaries. Why Senator ex-VP's son retrieved vehicle, asked for refund from delegates, and APC Oyegun to chair presidential screening committee. Details can be found in page 8. And Buhari to ESN and IPOB expect tough response from security agencies once against retaliatory violence to viral video as court reschedules Kanu's trial till June 28. Your criminality not helping, Kanu can tells IPOB, condemns killing of Madam Fatima children. Soludo places curfew in Anambra South. And a study here limiting TV to less than 1 hour daily lowers heart disease risks, with details in page 28, and that's all on the New Telegraph.
And on Al Jazeera, Nigeria, Katsina, gunmen invade Catholic Church, kidnap priests and others. Detail of that can be found on page 12, and we hope that the priests will be get to be rescued back, because this is really a sad one where most of the parts of the north are not safe right now. Borno, Katsina, Sokoto, it's one story after another. Even Niger is not left out. So we're just hoping that something will be done. Okay, we have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Morning to
Thank you so much.
Yes, I want to add to what that woman killing Egypt with her 4 children. You understand? You see, the Buhari now have come to make comment about it. But when the brother was killed, the person was, complaining. By the time you go on saying the truth like this government will want to come and bound or close down your television station. Just like Osman have already said. Yes, and it's just the truth. All these Boko Haram now involving kidnapping Christians and all of that, they are now being settled. They are trying to be settled before his tenure runs out. Understand? So, to add more, in watching here, there is just, Sarah, that is attacking innocent citizens, Christians, in this Kagadama where Christians are living during the night, just because of what happened. It's so unfortunate. Sincerely speaking, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Emmanuel.
And it's just looking at the balance that you rightly said, and we believe the government will look into that, because we have equal rights, whether you're from the north or from the south, whether you're Christian or Muslim, regardless of who you are. Nigeria belongs to all of us, and so every life matters. We should protect everybody's life.
Yes, Sele.
And still on Al Jazeera newspaper, the big story, which is on the primaries, crisis hit PDP. Obi dumps party, Abarabi, Ekweremadu. Protest halt Niger Guba primary. Crisis blame on ex-governor. Taraba delegates stone governor deputy. CBN refutes report of Emifele sacking. Northern elders condemn killing in the southeast. Other story here, court adjourns Akwa Ibom PDP primaries hearing from June 1st. And we have the federal government seeking the EU support to implement Climate Change Act and others. Hello, we have the caller. Good morning.
Yes, hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Please go on with your comments.
Hello. Hello. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are. Please go on.
Yes. I want to talk about the issue of killing of Fatima and Fort. The killing is so sad and so bad. But another thing that government be from the head, they should take everybody as an equal. Look at the way they treat the border. But no government man come and talk anything about that Deborah dead. Look at that Deborah don't have parents, or she don't have anywhere she comes from. Or is it because that she's a Christian? Our government should sit up about insecurity in this country. Nobody talking about insecurity. What they are talking about is now is election. They want to be in power. If they kill the people that voted in, who are they going to govern? It is a big question that we need to ask ourselves. Now that the election is coming up, we should not go by the party. We should go by the people that can be able to have the people in mind, that have the first mind, God fearing, that can govern everyone as one. But if they don't do that, I am seeing that there's going to be more crisis in this country. That even this democracy will be wiped out. I pray that let me talk about this country, because what that so-called democracy that they are ruling this country is something else. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. And we're not looking forward to having any crisis. We know that the government will do all that it needs to be done. Other stories still on Al Jazeera. Airfare increased by 52.44% in 12 months. And we are having 80 African journalists converge for the Turkey African Summit. And that's all on Al Jazeera newspaper.
And for Nigerian Tribune, abducted train passengers in viral video calls on federal government and international community to aid their release. Anambra Moda Soludo declares curfew in 8 local governments. Ohaneze condemns killing of pregnant women, her kids, and NEF warns against reprisal and Khan demands justice. Why Obi dumped PDP, Labour Party, 3 others being considered as next destination. 48 hours to PDP primaries, Northern Elders push for compromise. Makinde representing Oyo, Uba, Benue, Ikone, Abia, and Oborevuri, Delta. Kashim, Bauchi, Lamido, Jigawa, Jandor, Lagos. Others emerge PDP governors
we have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Please go on with your comments.
Okay. My name is Nofa.
Thank you.
So I want to talk about Dr. Mayan and her 4 kids. So why are you people forcing it to impose the killing on IPOD? Won't you guys give IPOD the benefit of the doubt? They are saying they are not the corporate. They will say they are not the corporate. Why can't people give them the benefit of the doubt? Can't it be that someone is trying to tell them off? Can't it be that politicians are fighting among each other and are trying to implicate someone? Have those people killed the brother? Have they denied the killer? What happened? Then because I thought they are saying, we are not the killer, we are not the killer. But nobody wants to listen to them. Everybody has concluded this. As if to say these people have done it, have done with a question about it. It is very, very unfair. It's very, very unfair. And I want to happen in Nigeria. We are seeing it over here. We are people are reporting in Nigeria. It's unbalanced. As if you guys are supporting a particular part of Nigeria against other parts of Nigeria. After every 2 people to say one Nigeria, what is the oneness in what you guys are reporting? Every newspaper, every online news channel, every politician are reporting this. Nobody has properly reported that Africa has been killing. It is very, very unfair. Please have a nice day.
Thank you so much and have a nice day too.
On Nigerian Tribune, Abaribe Ekweremadu Aliu Gusau withdraws from primaries. Court refuses to stop PDP from conducting primaries in Rivers. On minimum wage arrears, ASU, poly lecturers, others to get 34 billion naira. And Borno confirms 32 killed, 14 bodies recovered. Gunmen kidnap Catholic priest, 3 others in Katsina. And here we have APC Presidential Convention, consensus not ruled out. This is coming from Adamu for closest screening panel. And that's all on Nigerian Tribune.
And on the Guardian newspaper, Abuja Kaduna train attack victims, family asks government to hit terrorist ultimatum. Still on killing, presidency urges restraint over viral violence video. Zulum confirms 35 killed, 6 injured in Borno attack. And Deborah Samuel, pastor donate estate car to family in Rivers. I really want to appreciate the pastor of Omega Ministry for taking that step toward making sure that it's not just about the denomination you belong to, but we are a body, we are all Christians. And what he did for, liberating Deborah's parents from poverty and also making sure that the children have study. We look forward to having more people that will use the position that they have to liberate other people that are going through poverty. We have a picture story here where we can see delegates voting at the Pdp Governorship Primary election in Enugu yesterday. And the big story on 2023, Obi quits PDP, ICE Labour, NNPP tickets with the rider. PDP Northern elders look to the North Central for candidate. Insist consensus is pathway to stability. Legal move to stop PDP presidential primary fails. And the APC chairman hint on consensus, pick for party presidential flag bearer. And the former governor of Anambra State and the presidential aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, Peter Obi, yesterday resigned his membership of the party 2 days before its presidential primary. He said his resignation was because of the difficulty he faced in carrying out his Rescue Nigeria mission through the main opposition party in a letter dated May 24, 2022. An address to the national chairman of the PDP, Obi said he had already informed the chairman of the PDP chairman in his word in Anambra State. I'm writing to intimidate you of my resignation from the PDP, which was conveyed to the chairman of Uguwo 2 of Anambra, effectively from Friday, May 20, 2022. Consequently, I am by this letter informing you of my withdrawal from the PDP presidential primary. It has been a great honor to contribute to nation-building effort through our party. Unfortunately, recent development within our party made it practically impossible to continue participating and making such constructive contribution. Director General of Obi Presidential Campaign Organization, DOI, who submitted the letter at the National Secretariat of the party in Abuja, further disclosed that Obi will move to another party to actualize his 2023 presidential ambition. So we keep our fingers crossed, and you can read more of that story on page 6. And the last story, Ondo APC aspirant reject imposition of Ibrahim. Detail of that can be found on page 5, and that's all on the Guardian newspaper.
On Daily Trust, INEC chairman is saying inducing delegates pushing Nigeria towards plutocracy. And the big story on PDP governorship primaries, Lamido's son, Uba, Birthday, Jajari, others pick ticket. Bauchi governor appears on ballot despite presidential bid. Fintiri Makinde secures return ticket. An exercise postponed in Niger and Imo. Ikweremadu Abaribe Gusau Maku pulls out, and Stella Odua absconded, didn't complete youth service. This is coming from NYSC. Supporters launch crowdfunding portal for Oshibanjo's presidential bid, and we have the bank on President Yemi Oshibanjo, and that's all on the Daily Trust newspaper.
And on National Star, Peter Obi dumps PDP, gunmen stop Kukas Parish adopt priests, 32 Borno villagers killed by Boko Haram, not farmers, says the government. PDP governor primaries, Makinde, Ikoni, Fitiri, and others win. And we have Lagos ban corporate punishment in public schools. Impossible to decide the cause of OAU students' death. And the last story here, protest withdrawal as APC elect the governorship candidate today. We have a picture story here. You can do well to get the national stand, also read detail of the story that makes interest to you.
While on national economy, stakeholders chart policies for midstream and downstream sector. Nigeria need right policies, people to build strong economy. This is coming from experts. And OFI CBN sets criteria for enrollment into credit risk management system. Details can be found in page 5 of the National Economy newspaper. Raising MPR to 13% will slow economic growth. An anchor borrowers program gulped 57.9 billion naira in 2 months. And this is coming from
I think this is our last caller for today. Good morning. Please go on with your comment. You have 30 seconds to do that.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Please go on.
Okay. So, of course, I'm coming back in reference to when I called earlier, hello?
We can hear you. Please go on.
It's very important to murder someone. Those from the case, maybe there are maybe blessings from what I think from local aspect of Nigeria or something. But in all, what I'm saying is that you people should because Nigeria is we wouldn't want it to look like maybe some people are favored in Nigeria and stuff. And we see that Nigeria is never accepted by everybody. Because Nigeria is part of Nigeria, they have the same thing. When people value human beings as animals, why others value animals than human beings? Are different, a person. So if Nigeria is never accepted, people for the referendum, so that people can be citizen. Is it not better than every day killing in Nigeria? There's never a day totally more citizen. Your program are having killing and every day killing. It's not real like that and that. All people can boast about this, about killing. And then in Ghana, there is life. There is life. You people cannot boast of life. People killing. Nigeria is not working. Maybe by then people will have to. No? So that is all I condemn the killing. My confession.
All right, thank you for that contribution. Tosin?
The last story on national economy, anchor borrowers program gulped 57.9 billion naira in 2 months. And this is coming from CBN. That's all on national economy.
And the last paper, which is still on business day, investors to exit stock for fixed income on rate hike. And why Peter Obi set to swap PDP for Labour Party. Makinde wins party Guba ticket in Oyo. And that's all on the Business Day newspaper. Thank you, Tosin, for doing this with me. I think we have one last comment on Facebook, and this is coming from Rahila Sati. She said, well done to the guest speaker. Well, we are all the host of the show, and you are all doing well. The killing of Fatima and her children is bad. But why will the president be biased? And we've said it, there's going to be a balance to everything. Thank you so much to all our callers and also to all the people who dropped their comment on Facebook. Truly grateful for making the program a success. Until we come your way again, be kind and love one another. Have a blessed day ahead.